Here's the thing. She doesn't want you anymore. That relationship is over. You can consider her on paper, unless y'all got a divorce, she's still your wife. But in reality, she's not your wife anymore. She does not want to be with you. Do you understand?
Never stand for the defendant, and I'm wondering if the court has the letter that the defendant wrote to the court.
Yes.
I didn't know if you had a chance to read it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Judge Boyd.
Hello.
How are you today, ma'am?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's a beautiful Friday. Well, it's not Friday, it's Monday.
Monday.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
you know, the reason why I say it's a beautiful Friday, because when you're off on Friday, Friday becomes a Monday and a Monday. All right. According to the...
Welcome back to Judge Point. If you're new here, hit subscribe now so you never miss the most dramatic real courtroom breakdowns. Today's case is about defendant Ray Torr, who pled no contest to kidnapping charges. His request for probation sparked tense exchanges between the court, his wife Jennifer, and prosecutors. The courtroom heard emotional testimony, including claims of ongoing contact despite protective orders. As the judge considered whether Ray deserved leniency or prison time, shocking details about control, violence, and broken orders came to light. Let's dive in step by step.
You entered a plea to kidnapping of no contest on March 20th, 2023. According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. The state opposes your application. They're taking several cases into consideration. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. Have parties had a chance to review the PSI report? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections? State?
No objection.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
State? Any witnesses?
I can have one more, Your Honor.
Defense? Any witnesses?
Other than the defendant, no.
All right. Would you like to, are there witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, you want to call her?
I thought it was for victim impact statement after sentencing.
The hearing began with procedural steps. The court confirmed Ray's plea and the PSI report review. Both sides were ready, with no objections to evidence. The state strongly opposed probation, highlighting prior violations and family violence findings. Ray's defense, however, prepared witnesses. First up was Jennifer Torr, the victim herself. With protective orders still in place, her testimony was expected to shape the judge's view on whether probation could ever keep her safe. As she took the stand, everyone braced for revelations about past abuse and continuing unwanted contact.
We will be calling her as a witness.
I can't hear you, Mr. Burr.
Yes. We will be calling her as a witness, Your Honor.
All right. Call your witness.
Your Honor, and I would expect her testifying to any that we would consider to be a victim impact statement that should be presented to the court after the judge sentences.
Okay. All right. Call your witness.
Your Honor, we call Jennifer Tovar.
All right, Ms. Tovar, if you come forward. Yeah, come up. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. I'm gonna need you to speak up so the court reporter can hear. State your name for the record.
Jennifer Tovar.
State.
Ms. Tovar, you are the victim in this case against Mr. Derrick.
Jennifer testified under oath, confirming she was the victim in Ray's kidnapping case. When asked about deferred adjudication, objections flew. Defense worried she might sway the judge too directly. Still, Jennifer recounted disturbing details. She admitted Ray continued calling her and their children from jail, using limited collect calls. Despite protective orders, contact persisted. She explained that even when no contact orders existed, she allowed some calls so their children could speak with their father. The defense objected again, but the judge overruled, allowing Jennifer's concerns about her safety to remain on record.
Just 1 second, Your Honor. Ms. Tovar, on December 21st of 2021, can you tell the court what happened?
So I visited Ray to pick up Christmas money because me and the kids were living in Atascosa County due to a CPS case that we had for domestic violence.
Your Honor, I object because it's repetitive. Everything about that offense is in the police report, which was presented to the court as part of our plea package.
All right. So just so all parties are aware, I've read the stipulations in its entirety. I always reread those before sentencing.
Jennifer admitted that she no longer believed protective orders were enough to protect her. She described how Ray had violated those restrictions in the past, continuing to come around and contact her despite explicit court orders. Even while cases were pending, he ignored boundaries. She revealed she only allowed communication so the children wouldn't be deprived of their father. But despite her efforts, she told the judge firmly the orders hadn't kept her safe and she feared they never would. The courtroom atmosphere grew heavy with her testimony.
And I read them once I make a decision on whether there's sufficient evidence to find somebody guilty. And I've also thoroughly read the TAP evaluation. So you can ask your next question.
Yes. Ms. Tovar, have you had any contact with the defendant since these allegations?
Yeah, so he calls the house and speaks to myself and the kids. I guess when he can, because he doesn't have
No,
any
there's
reason.
objection, non-responsive. She answered his question.
All right, that'll be overruled.
You can continue.
Oh, so he has to use, I guess, a pre-collect call that he has because he doesn't have any money on the account to call us.
Okay.
So, and I don't fund it anymore. I just did for.
After Jennifer's testimony ended, Ray himself took the stand. Under oath, he admitted mistakes, but pleaded for probation. He described this as his longest time behind bars, promising change if given a chance. He apologized directly to the court and to Jennifer, describing their years together and insisting he still cared for his family. Ray argued probation would allow him to take classes, improve himself, and rebuild. His voice trembled as he appealed to the judge's mercy, hoping for leniency over a lengthy prison sentence.
A little while around Christmas time, but no, he's only when he gets a collect call, he can call.
And Ms. Tovar, you currently have a protective order against the defendant?
I do.
And do you feel that is sufficient to keep you safe?
No.
And why is that?
I
Objection,
did it
Your
in the
Honor.
first
What
place.
is your objection?
She's commenting on what your decision will ultimately do to affect her and her children.
All right, that'll be overruled. You can answer the question.
No, I don't think so. It didn't in the first place. It didn't. Ray was still coming around and still calling.
And while these
The prosecutor immediately pressed Ray with tough questions. They reminded him of his repeated bond violations and protective order breaches. Ray tried to shift blame, saying Jennifer moved back in with him and he didn't force her. But the state highlighted that he knew any contact was forbidden, regardless of her choices. They also confronted him about tying Jennifer up with duct tape during the kidnapping, an allegation he firmly denied. Past records, however, showed a troubling history of violating no-contact orders, even across counties.
For your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Zaragoza Ray Jr.
All right, defense.
Thank you. Mr. Tovar, did you want to address the court with regard to why are you requesting her to give you probation?
Yes, I feel that given probation, I could complete probation. As you know, I haven't been in trouble before, Your Honor. This is the longest I've been in jail. I feel that I've made a mistake. And if you read the current note I wrote to you, Your Honor, it describes more of my feelings. I want to apologize to the court and I want to apologize to my wife.
The prosecutor dug deeper, pointing out Ray's previous case in Atascosa County for similar violations. While Ray insisted those were only phone calls to his children, the prosecutor argued he still broke the law. They reminded the court he failed to report during one case, though Ray countered he was already in jail at that time. The back and forth showed Ray attempting to justify or minimize his actions, while the state painted a clear pattern: a man unwilling or unable to respect protective boundaries placed for safety.
Ms. Tovar, from you violated those no contact orders.
That is wrong. She came to my home and moved in with me because she had no place to live. I wasn't going to leave my wife and my kids out on the street. So I did not violate it. She came to me, and that's how I violated it.
But you were made aware that any contact with Ms. Tovar would be a violation of those bond conditions, is that correct?
I was aware, but I was not going to leave my kids and my wife out on the street, sir.
In this kidnapping case, you did tie up Miss Tovar with duct tape, is that correct?
No, that is incorrect.
And you said you never.
Arguments turned heated as the state insisted probation would leave Jennifer unsafe. They emphasized that Ray twice violated bond conditions despite knowing the risks. The prosecutor argued his choices showed total disregard for court authority. The defense countered, saying Ray lacked an extensive criminal record and was trying to change. They claimed he had been taking classes in jail and wanted treatment programs. But the prosecutor reminded the court, words of reform were nothing compared to actions of repeated disobedience and escalating danger.
I couldn't go.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I said during that incident, I was in custody, so I couldn't go over there.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Any further
No,
questions?
Your Honor.
All right, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court will hear argument. State, you're opposed?
Yes, Your Honor. We're opposed to the defendant being granted probation. While you heard from the victim that she does not feel protected just by the no contact order, and that the fact that he was charged with a repeat violation of court order bond condition twice, which are being taken into consideration in this offense, Your Honor.
The judge questioned whether Jennifer's decision to live with Ray, despite protective orders, mitigated his violations. The prosecutor acknowledged her choice, but stressed responsibility still rested with Ray. Even if she moved in, he knew contact was forbidden. They explained he could have cared for his children without breaking the order, such as arranging custody separately. The judge pressed harder. Was it truly his decision or hers? The state replied firmly that regardless, the order was clear. He ignored it knowingly, putting her safety at risk.
Shows that the defendant, whatever the allegations were, completely disregarded the court's order, and telling him that he's not supposed to have any contact with the complainant.
But what about his saying that she came to live with him?
Your Honor, regardless of what the allegations are, if he knew that he had these charges pending.
No, I understand that, but isn't that mitigating the fact that she chose to go and live with him? Now, I understand financially there are issues, but a no contact order, of course, it's a document, it's on paper, and the defendant knows they're not to have contact with them. But what about his saying that he had a choice?
The defense painted Ray as remorseful and rehabilitative. They highlighted his lack of serious prior convictions and argued that jail time had been a wake-up call. They presented his handwritten letter to the judge, showing regret and promises of change. According to defense, he now recognized his problems, especially with alcohol and anger. They urged probation, combined with treatment and classes, as a chance to fix his life. For the defense, this was not just punishment. It was about giving Ray an opportunity to heal.
Either his children were going to be on the street with her, or either she was going to come to live with him. But it doesn't appear in that situation, if it's truthful, he didn't go and have her come live with him. She decided to go live with him.
That is correct, Your Honor. And while it may be mitigating there, knowing that he did have that no contact order, there are other options for Mr. Tovar to be able to take care of his children without having contact with the complainant. He could have taken the children while Ms. Tovar went to go find another living arrangement.
Do you know she wanted him to take the children and leave without her children?
That I'm not aware of, Your Honor.
Okay.
But given that and given the allegations in this case, Your Honor, we don't feel that
After hearing both sides, the judge delivered the ruling. The application for probation was denied. Ray was found guilty and sentenced to 9 years in prison, with credit for time served. The judge also imposed a $1,500 fine and affirmed family violence findings. Importantly, strict no-contact orders with Jennifer remained in place. The decision was final, a rejection of his pleas for mercy. The courtroom fell silent as Ray realized the weight of his sentence, a long road ahead in state prison.
Whatever it takes to fix himself. He's even read the PSI where the recommendations on the CAP eval that if granted probation, he should be placed in a program to help make sure he's no longer drinking excessive amounts of alcohol And he wants to fix himself in that way. And he's been taking some classes in the jail since he's been in jail. It's been a couple of months now to help him control his demeanor, his anger, everything. He's trying to fix himself.
Okay. All right.
But the judge didn't stop at sentencing. Speaking directly to Ray, the court reminded him this was not just a mistake, but a deliberate choice. Protective orders existed for a reason, yet he ignored them repeatedly. The judge acknowledged the complications of Jennifer's choices, but placed accountability squarely on Ray. As the judge explained, once an order is in place, it's his responsibility to follow it, no matter what. His failure to obey those orders sealed his fate. The lesson was clear. Court orders cannot be ignored.
That's what the court is going to do. The court is going to deny your application, find you guilty, sentence you to 9 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration 2022 CR 7416, 2023 CR 1300, County Court Cause number 698311. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There's a $1,500 fine, time and money to run concurrent, and there's to be no contact with Jennifer Tovar. Or we can go off the record. You have to make better decisions in your life.
Yes, Your Honor. This is just a mistake, Your Honor. I wish.
Well, no, it was a choice, and it was a bad choice.
Yes, ma'am.
And here's the thing, I understand about protective orders.
Yes.
I understand.
The judge addressed the broken marriage head-on. They told Ray plainly Jennifer no longer wanted him. While still married on paper, the reality was different. The judge warned him not to call her from jail or prison, not to contact her at all. If Ray wanted to see his children, it would have to be through proper legal channels, never through Jennifer directly. The message was firm. Respect her boundaries, accept the relationship's end, and follow the law moving forward.
No. Do you understand?
I do now, Your Honor.
Well, I mean, you knew beforehand. You just decided, maybe we can work this out. Here's the thing. She doesn't want you anymore. That relationship is over. You can consider her on paper, unless y'all got a divorce, she's still your wife. But in reality, she's not your wife anymore. She does not want to be with you. Do you understand? Do not call her from the jail. Do not call her from the prison. Do not contact her. And if you want to see your children, and Ms. Burke does a lot of civil work, if you want to see your children, then that needs to be done through a third party, but it's not to be done through Ms. Tovar. It's like you don't even know her. Do you understand?
Thank you, Your Honor.
As the gavel fell, Ray's fate was sealed. 9 years in prison, a failed plea for leniency, and the end of a marriage he refused to let go of. The courtroom closed with a sobering reminder. Choices have consequences, especially when protective orders are ignored. This case highlights how family violence, control, and repeated violations lead to devastating outcomes. On Judge Point, we bring you these real-life lessons from the courtroom. Like this video, subscribe for more, and stay tuned for the next gripping case breakdown.